African teas for your enjoyment.
The 16-year-old boy with 5 years to live. This is Timmy, 16, standing tall at the entrance of an extravagant car shop. His eyes scan the luxury vehicles, each one more impressive than the last. He's dressed modestly, but his demeanor is bold, out of place, yet confident. Timmy, in a serious tone, said, "Show me the costliest car in your shop." The shop attendant exchanged surprised looks. Who is this young boy from nowhere asking for their most expensive car? Timmy's story begins in Abeokuta, Nigeria. Young Timmy was born into a world of relentless struggle. His mother, a widow with 3 children to care for, faced the harshest of realities. Life was a constant battle against poverty, and every day was a test of endurance and resilience. Before I go on, please kindly subscribe to our channel if you're a first-timer here. And to our dearest subscribers, thank you for joining us again, but please kindly like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks to everyone. So back to our story. Timmy's family lived in a small, crumbling house made of corrugated iron and wooden planks, which barely shielded them from the elements. Inside, the floor was dirt and the roof leaked whenever it rained. The scant furniture consisted of a few worn-out mats and a rickety table, a stark contrast to the dreams and aspirations they clung on. Timmy's mother, Bimbo, was a pillar of strength. Every morning before dawn, she set out to work on a nearby construction site. Here, she joined other laborers in a grueling task, breaking large rocks into smaller pieces, using nothing but their bare hands and tiny hammers. The work was back-breaking and relentless. Each bucket of crushed stone she managed to sell earned her a mere 600 naira. Just enough but a full day's worth of food. Her hands were calloused and bruised, her skin cracked from the constant contact with rough stone and the scorching sun. In addition to this, Bimbo took on every odd job she could find to make ends meet. At the local market, she carried heavy loads for traders, her frail frame often struggling under the weight of sacks and boxes. Each load she carried earned her a pittance, but it was crucial for providing for her children. On top of this, she worked as a cleaner in various homes, scrubbing floors and washing clothes from dawn until dusk. The wages she received were meager, often barely enough to cover the family's rent and basic necessities. The children, Timmy, his younger brother, and his babysitter, often went to bed hungry, with only their dreams to fill their empty stomachs. Despite the grinding poverty, Bimbo's spirit remained unbroken. She would come home each evening, exhausted but still finding strength to offer kind words and a warm smile. She told her children stories of better times and promised them that one day things would be different. They would listen, their faces illuminated by the flickering light of a single candle, dreaming of a future where they no longer shackled by poverty. Timmy, the eldest, watched his mother with a mix of admiration and sorrow. He knew her sacrifices came at a great cost: her health, her happiness, and the life she had once envisioned for herself. He saw how her hands, once graceful and soft, had become hardened and worn. He watched as the joy slowly drained from her eyes, replaced by quiet determination to ensure her children had a chance at a better life. But despite the hardships, Bimbo never let her children see the full extent of her suffering. She shielded them from the worst of their reality, striving to keep their spirits high. She would often reassure them, "One day, we will find a way out of this." we will rise above these struggles. In the midst of their trials, there were moments of fleeting joy, small victories that offered a glimmer of hope. On rare occasions, Timi's mother would save enough to buy a little extra food or a small treat for her children. These moments were cherished and celebrated, serving as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there could be light. Through it all, Timi, a 16 years old boy, dreamed of a different life. At 16 years old, Timi had already weathered more storms than many twice his age. Life in the village had grown even harsher over the years, but his resolve to support his mother and younger siblings remained unshakable. Every morning, before the rays of sunlight touched the dusty streets, Timi set out with a purpose. His day began as a bus conductor. The bus station was a chaotic place filled with noise and people jostling for space. Timi, despite his small stature, took on the demanding job of managing passengers, collecting fares, and ensuring that everyone was seated safely. The work was grueling and the pay modest, but every naira he earned was a step towards easing his family's burdens. Once the money rush at the bus station subsided, Timi headed to the local food vendor stand. There, he took on the task of washing plates, endless piles of them, covered in remnants of rice, stew, and grilled meats. The greasy dishes and hot water burned his head, but he endured, driven by the thought of his family's needs. The vendor, who admired Timi's work ethic, paid him a small amount that, while insufficient for his family needs, was a vital contribution to their daily survival. In the afternoons, Timi would head to the market, where he took on various odd jobs. Sometimes, he carried heavy loads for traders, his back straining under the weight of sacks filled with goods. Other times, he helped set up stalls or moved merchandise. Each job was physically demanding and offered only a meager reward, but Timi's persistence never wavered. Evenings were no respite. After a long day of work, Timi would often return to their tiny home, where he would help his mother with household chores and care for his younger brother and sister. He cooked simple meals, mended torn clothes, and helped with schoolwork, balancing his own studies amidst his numerous responsibilities. Despite the exhausting routine, Timi's spirit remained unbroken. He knew the toll it took on his mother, who was still working tirelessly at the construction site and taking on other odd jobs. Her hands were even more worn and her body frailer, yet she never complained. Timi drew strength from her resilience, determined to alleviate her struggles and provide his siblings with a semblance of normalcy. Every evening, Timi would sit with his mother and siblings, sharing whatever small victories or frustrations he had experienced that day. He would recount tales from his work with a mix of humor and hope, trying to keep their spirits lifted. His mother would listen with a tired smile, her heart swelling with pride at her son's dedication. Now, imagine at 16, Timi, who had once struggled in poverty, stood at a luxury car dealership eyeing the most expensive car. As he approached the counter, ready to pay via bank transfer, was when the vendor grew suspicious and called the police. When the officers arrived, Timi calmly stated, "Don't disturb me. I have only 5 years left to live and want to enjoy life to the fullest." The police asked, "What do you mean by this statement? You have only 5 years left to live?" Then Timi started confessing his story. One night, while wandering in the village woods, I stumbled upon an old mysterious man sitting by a fire. The man seems to know me. The old man said, "You seek riches, boy. I can show you how, but there will be a great cost." The old man explained the price of the riches I crave. I would have everything my heart desired, but at 16, my time would start counting down. I'd have only 5 more years to live. I was blinded by the hunger for wealth and I agreed. I said, I'll take it. The man hands me a small pouch filled with ancient coins. They were no ordinary coins. Whoever touched them would find their fortune multiplied, but it came with the curse of time. Within a week, my life changed. Luxurious homes and the finest clothes. Every business deal I touch turns into gold. By 16, I am already a millionaire. Living in a lavish apartment overlooking the city's skyline. Fast track to the present, the police were confused as they don't know what to do because it's clear that Timmy didn't involve in any crime. So, he was released. But as his wealth grows, so does a mysterious illness. Timmy begins to experience chest pains and strange dreams haunted by the old man's warning. At first, he dismisses it as stress. Doctor visited and said, "I'm sorry, but your body is deteriorating faster than any case I've seen." At this time, the car, the wealth, the luxury, none of it satisfies Timmy anymore. The countdown on his life is getting louder. He begins to search for a way out, trying to find the old man to reverse the curse. But the man has disappeared, leaving Timmy with only his ticking clock. As the weeks go by, Timmy's health declines further. His fame grows, but so do the rumors. People in the city start to wonder if the scandal was true, if Timmy had really sold his soul for wealth. One fateful night, as Timmy walks alone through the back streets of the city, he meets a familiar figure, the old man from the village. This time, Timmy is desperate. Timmy begged, "Please, undo the curse. I'll give it all back. The money, the cars, I don't want to die." The old man shakes his head. "You can't escape death, Timmy, but you can choose how you spend your time." Timmy is left standing in the alley, realizing that no amount of wealth can buy him more time. A millionaire, but with only 5 years to live, standing at the edge of fate. Years later, a small gravestone stands in the cemetery. It reads, "Timmy, the boy who bought time." The story of Timmy becomes a legend. People still talk about the scandal, the mystery of his wealth, and his untimely death. But in the end, the lesson remains: no amount of money can cheat fate.